Coming to you from a studio somewhere out there. It's Enough Already Radio with Fingers Malloy and Tracy O'Connor.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Enough Already. It's the Enough Already podcast. I'm Fingers Malloy. She's Tracy L. Connors. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Fingers.
So we're recording this a lot earlier than we normally record a show because we have a lot going on in our lives. You know, it's the first week of July.
Mm-hmm.
There are vacations to be had.
For some of us.
That's true. I did go to the Noblesville, Indiana 4th of July parade yesterday.
Oh, on purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't like small town parades?
Nah, I thought about going to the one here, but then I'm like, it feels like 105 degrees outside. I think no.
Well, as you know, I don't know if you remember this, but not too long ago there was a school shooting in Noblesville.
I do recall.
And it was nice. They had, as the grand marshals of the parade, the girl that got shot 7 times, and the teacher who disarmed the shooter. So they were the grand marshals of the parade, and they were walking through town. Well, not walking through town. They're being driven through town. The little girl who was shot still has to wear a neck brace. I don't know how well she's getting along, getting around town. And then they had the teacher who saved lots of lives that day. He was riding in a car, doing the Pope wave.
Mm-hmm.
The parade wave. Not too far back from them was a group of women. The Moms Demand Action.
Oh, God.
Crowd. Is it Moms Demanding Action or Moms Demand Action? I think it's Demanding Action. I don't know. Anyway, the anti-gun people were walking, and a few people applauded, like 2 or 3. But it's a red state.
Yeah.
In a very red county. And even with that school shooting, a lot of people just kind of had their arms folded. These people walked by, making noise, holding up signs, telling people to text a certain number. I'm sure it'll, send them a donation or something by texting such and such to...
Of course.
Yeah. So that was my 4th of July, and you just sat by the pool?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I'm very surprised that you're a public pool person.
Well, it's semi-public.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a body of water. There's a lake near me, too, but...
Ew.
I can't walk there.
Oh, yeah, a lake should be fine.
Yeah, it's huge.
Is it clean?
I assume. I haven't gotten up to the edge yet.
Oh. You can't get sea lice in it, as far as we know.
Correct.
Oh. Well, not much small talk this week because we just talked to each other. The reason why I brought up that we're recording a lot earlier this week is because I know this normally comes out on Monday. Mondays, this will hit the internets. We're actually recording on a Thursday this week. So a lot of things may happen between Thursday and Monday, and I'm sure some of you will probably say to yourselves, why the hell didn't they talk about that? Or this, or whatever. And it's because it's Thursday.
Yes.
But we have a ton of stories in our little show prep doc that we have. We do show prep.
It's true.
It's amazing. Well, what do you want to start off with?
I think we should start off with what you and I were ranting about before we went live. Or hit record, I guess.
The pretty new face of socialism?
Yeah.
And what's this woman's name? I always screw it up.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
So, a couple of things. We were talking about a lot of things regarding this woman, Alexandria
Ocasio.
Cortez.
Ocasio. There's no T in it.
Ocasio.
Yeah.
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah. Just think of her as like a Casio keyboard, but Ocasio.
Ocasio.
We can just call her Alexandria. I think she'd be okay with that.
Can I call her Allie? I'm sure she
Maybe.
would hate that.
I was reading some stories about her, and her friends call her Sandy, which I don't know how you get that, but
Sandy.
Alexandria. So they just went Alexandra. I don't really understand.
I'm gonna
This is
call
when
her
she was
Sandy.
tending bar and apparently not sharing tips equally.
What?
Are you surprised? That was one story. I think it was in Page 6, and somebody was bitching about her not tipping them out well.
That's a shocker.
I know.
Okay, so Sandy. I'm just gonna call her Sandy. It's easier for me.
Super socialist Storm Sandy.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Well, I don't want to be one of these white guys that says a name like hers and they try to do the whole Spanish accent.
Like when Obama talked about Cuba.
Yeah. Alexandria
Mexico.
Ocasio-Cortez.
Cortez.
I can't roll. Cortez. See, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go with Sandy.
Okay.
This is brilliant, by the way. The socialists, what they're doing. You pick congressional districts that you know damn well a Republican will never win. And you hope that your guy, your gal will win. And then if they win the primary, there's no stopping them. You've got a socialist as a congressman. And then 2 years from now, when the next primary rolls around, if the DNC, if establishment Democrats dare pour a bunch of money in that district to try to get a more mainstream Democrat, and I don't even know what a mainstream Democrat is anymore, but one to the right of a socialist, the base will scream. It's just like 2016 all over again. They screwed Bernie Sanders out of the nomination, and now they want to get one of our the beautiful face of socialism, the pretty face of socialism, Sandy here, a candidate we're screaming for. They're stabbing her in the back. So it's brilliant.
I think it depends on how much she pisses everybody off, whether or not the DNC will actively work to get rid of her.
Well, I mean, she could just be a loudmouth in her district like Maxine Waters. But instead of just batshit crazy that comes out of Maxine Waters' face, it's a different kind of batshit crazy. It's a socialism. I mean, you've got the one story. She's going to save the planet, apparently.
This is, yes.
Single-handedly.
They are so in love with her at the more left outlets, of course. So this was a New Republic story in the headline. Can Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez save the planet? Why, yes, she can, they apparently believe. Oh, my God. And do you know how she's going to save the planet, Fingers?
Well, I already read the piece.
Okay, you want to play along like you didn't?
I have no idea, Tracy. How will she save the planet? I'm guessing it's with other people's money.
Correct. What is she going to put that money towards? A Green New Deal. So this is Emily Atkin writing in the New Republic. To achieve her ambitious goal, which is, as they frame it, saving the planet, and to have a 100% renewable energy in the United States by 2035. Okay.
We're supposed to have flying cars by then, too.
Right. So 17 years. And we're already halfway through 2018. So really, it's like 16 and a half. So to achieve this ambitious goal, she's proposed implementing what she calls a Green New Deal. And I love this. A Franklin Delano Roosevelt-like plan. They had to put that in there with the hyperlink. To spur, quote, the investment of trillions of dollars and the creation of millions of high-wage jobs. So the Green New Deal we are proposing will be similar in scale to the mobilization efforts seen in World War II or the Marshall Plan. Okay. The New Deal, I don't know that she knows what the New Deal was, but it was prior to World War II.
Right.
So, okay. We must again invest in the development, manufacturing, deployment, and distribution of energy, but this time green energy. So that's her proposal. That's it.
And what I find comical about her proposal and the analysis of it is they're calling it bold.
Yes.
There's nothing bold with coming up with a Christmas list. Like when my 8-year-old comes up with a list of what she wants from Santa, if she were to put a jet on there, I would think to myself, what a bold list.
No, this is she's out there on a limb.
There's no limb. She's going to be in Congress because she won her primary. And then at that point, she could say pretty much whatever she wants about anything, and there will be no consequences. Seriously, unless she says something really daft. But just this nonsense? Oh, you know
Wait a minute. You heard her saying something really daft? Again, you mean?
No, I'm talking about even going farther than Maxine Waters. And we need an armed socialist revolution in this country.
I think she could get away with that. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, and at this point, who can blame her? Trump got away with saying he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and everybody would still stay with him.
That's true.
And she's just as loved on that side as he was loved on the right.
But there's saying something is bold because you are, coming up with a dream list of stuff that you want someone else to pay for. There's nothing bold about that.
Well, the person who said she was bold in this article is the famous Michael Mann from my alma mater. He's the climate scientist, and I'm doing air quotes here, that came up with the hockey stick graph that's been totally debunked. Yet he still has a job at Penn State, and they still run to him to ask him questions. So he said, this is just the sort of audacious and bold thinking we will need if we're going to avert a climate crisis. We read you the entirety of what exists as far as the New Republic is concerned of her proposal. Her proposal is just we're going to have a make work project and spend trillions of dollars and force everybody to go 100% green by 2035.
And of course, this will have no effect on the economy, Tracy. Basically, we're going to have a Green New Deal, and Bill Gates is going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, these people declare war on the poor daily. The amount of money this plan would cost and how much more expensive energy would be while they were implementing this plan would absolutely put a stranglehold on the poor. Can't afford it.
Mm-hmm. But they also do play a little wah-wah on themselves here. So it says the climate scientists I spoke to also noted that quickly transitioning to renewable energy wouldn't be enough to completely solve the climate crisis because we've already emitted so much carbon dioxide and will continue to inevitably for at least 2 decades. Now, this is a fun parenthetical that I can't believe they admitted to. You can't take all the cars off the road at once. Do you hear that? All cars gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're going to replace them with, and how do you get everybody to give up their car? These are the people that want to get rid of ICE. Seriously, what kind of an enforcement agency are you going to have to unleash on everybody to get people to give up their cars?
You see, you're getting into the details here, Tracy. I mean, we're trying to live in the middle of a giant John Lennon Imagine song. Imagine a world without cars.
Right.
And then you know what's next?
You
can't eat animals.
Oh, no,
You can't
no.
eat beef. Contributes to climate change. So get rid of your car. Get rid of your beef. You should all eat Soylent Green and get on some sort of high-speed rail, an expensive choo-choo train that the government will build, and I'm sure it'll be on time too.
Oh, without a
You can
doubt.
count on the public transportation being on time, and you'll be saving the planet. It'll be a very patriotic thing to do, Tracy.
Of course.
And then you publicly shun anyone who still has a car eating a cheeseburger on their way to work.
Yeah, you surround them and pound on their windows and windshields, and you shut down traffic like they like to do.
Yeah.
But honestly, how does this work? And I can't believe this woman puts this parenthetical in here and then just glosses over it. Oh, you can't take all the cars off the road at once. So that's the plan. All the cars come off the road.
And what's funny are, I don't know where this person lives, but they just assume that everything's like New York City and Washington, D.C.
She lives in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, of course. Oh, just get on the metro. Oh, okay. Wow, I'm in central Indiana and I have a 45-mile commute. How am I supposed to get to work? Well, that's not our problem. That's your problem.
Well, you shouldn't work at your job anyway.
That's true.
You wouldn't have a job if it was up to them.
Right.
Well, and I don't know where it's going. I can just only assume that they want all cars off the road, period. Unless maybe if they're electric, that would be acceptable. But her answer for electricity is we're just going to have wind farms and solar panels.
Yeah.
Okay. How does that work in like Seattle, Portland, where it's overcast like 50% of the time? And there's no reliable way to save that energy.
Do you think that to say, God forbid, these people really attain political power in a big way, do you think they'll ever come to grips with the idea that nuclear may be a good option? Or do you think that it's been so stigmatized that that's a bridge they just can't cross?
I'm not entirely sure. I think some of them are going to have to admit to it.
Yeah.
If they really want this to work. Just because you can't provide enough with wind and solar, and plus it's not economically feasible. Not that they care about economics. Oh, and by the way, she does have a degree in economics. Right?
Where the hell did she get her degree?
DeVry. No, I'm just kidding. It's Trump University.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
your life will not be affected at all by this plan if it's implemented. Prices won't go up on food and energy and everything. I mean, it's not just food and energy. Any kind of good that needs to be shipped, which is pretty much everything, needs to go into a truck or some other method to get to point A to point B. That's all going to go up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she talks about here, too, we need to come up with the carbon dioxide extraction technology and stuff like this. So we no longer have to extract more fossil fuels from the ground. And I have to, do these people not know what's used to make plastic? I'm serious. And there is a way that we can transition off of that eventually.
Right.
I'm serious. There are alternatives that are, now that hemp is going to be legalized, there is a way to make plastic using bio. Not that, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it can't happen next week.
No. And not for the same price. But being somebody that works in that industry, I would love to see an alternative to petroleum-based plastics just because of the volatility of the price.
Right.
It's insane. Our prices are still high since last September, was it, when Houston got hit with the hurricane?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd like to see some competition. But until that time, these people act like the only thing we use petroleum for is gasoline. And I don't know if they don't know any better, but it's just shocking.
They don't want to know any better.
No.
Any kind of speed bump that's put in front of them. Just want to ignore it.
But I'm wondering, and I'm sure that Democrats and liberals and progressives and whatever they're calling themselves today think that, the Trump the Republicans in the Trump mold are as extreme to the right as she is to the left.
Yeah.
And that's just totally wrong. So I'm wondering if this is an opening for more libertarian candidates that are actually, pro-liberty to come in and be the antithesis to this chick. Because what she wants is more and more and more power and more state control. Like the Automobile Repossession Agency, whatever we're going to call that.
Right?
Yeah, and they put the smart meters in your house, and they limit you to when you're allowed to use electricity. Like, there's no end to this stuff.
Oh, just look at California and do a Google search for California set to ban, and just see some of the crazy shit that is, has been proposed, that has been implemented. Stuff is fireplaces. The people out in California don't want fireplaces. Don't want, people in California were putting pizza ovens in their backyards.
Can't have that.
No, can't have that. A second refrigerator in your home.
Nope.
A lot of that happens in the Midwest. I don't know if that's a thing in Pennsylvania, but you have another refrigerator in your garage, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, no, can't have that. Wanted to eliminate big screen TVs.
Mm-hmm. You're using too much energy.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
I mean, in Portland, they just, and I know that's not in California, but just another example.
It might as well be.
Right. Banning straws.
Mm-hmm. Nope, none of that. They've had the plastic bag ban.
Mm-hmm.
Down in California.
We can't have ice, but maybe we'll have straw police. They'll be wandering around Portland. We'll have a straw black market. Somebody will walk up with you wearing a trench coat. I see you're enjoying a Coke there. Wouldn't it be better with a straw? Open up the jacket. I got bendy straws. Oh my God, whole world's gone mad.
Yeah, but they love her, and she's quite potent force to be reckoned with. I'll tell you that. She knows how to craft messages. And she's good on TV.
I've read something where she's already had something in the neighborhood of 1,000 media requests.
That doesn't surprise me. I guarantee you, if she was a little bit older, they'd be talking about her for 2020. I'm not joking.
I know you're not joking, and you're right. And that's it's scary.
Yeah.
I want to be able to vote for a Democrat.
Why?
I really do. I would like to have a Democratic Party that's reasonable. I really would, but it's not an option.
No.
It just isn't anymore.
Mm-mm. No, it took them a little bit longer to get organized.
Yeah.
As far as their radicals. But they're infiltrating. She's backing candidates in primaries now in some states that are still voting. So you're going to have more. She's not going to be the only one in this freshman class, I don't think.
You just pick whacked out districts that will vote for a Democrat no matter what. You target them and you put someone like this in there.
Well, you also have an incumbent who's lazy,
yeah,
disengaged, and thinks they can just coast.
And what's amazing is there are plenty of examples of incumbents who have become lazy and have lost in the primary, and they don't learn a lesson. Oh, it can't happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they better learn quickly that it can happen to them, or you're going to have more of this.
But I wish the Libertarian Party would get its shit together and start doing the same thing. Or Republican, people that want to run as Libertarians, just run on the Republican ticket. Yeah. All you have to do is beat whoever in the primary in a red district. Look at how many seats are open there's no Democrat challenger for. Some of these House seats they don't even bother with.
Yeah.
And start pulling the parties in the complete opposite direction. That'll just speed up the secession. Well, that's what that's my goal. I'd like to have a peaceful dissolution. Because I really don't want to have to fight these people in the streets.
Would you? Well, in Pennsylvania, it's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Would Pennsylvania split into 3 states?
Who knows? It could. Well, Philly could go with Jersey,
Yeah.
but I don't know what would become of Pittsburgh. Doesn't really have. I don't think Ohio would go, but who knows? I don't know if Ohio would go red or blue in the split. And the same thing could be said here. It would probably split into a couple states.
We'll have New Ohio and Old Ohio, New Pennsylvania.
East and west, north and south. Oh, the whole thing just needs to be refigured. But no, I'm a little bit worried. The other article we were talking about was from the Washington Examiner. Selena Zito has a piece called "The Democrats Are Having a Socialist Realignment," which is fun times. And yeah, there are 4 socialists that are running in the state of Pennsylvania that won their primaries. And only one of them has an opponent.
Wow. Well, the other 3, are you familiar with their districts?
Well, one of them is in Philadelphia.
Oh, so that's a win.
Yeah, and the other one's in the suburbs of Philadelphia. And it says the two of them are from Pittsburgh. So we're going to have 4 socialists in our state house. It's wild. And you got the Democrat Socialists of America are helping these guys.
Well, I mean, that's the template now. Now libertarians that need to do the exact same thing, like you said. Like, look to the success that the socialists have had and target districts where you got fat, lazy Republicans that are running for re-election that just think they're going to coast through the primary. And then what's amazing, too, is, and maybe the polling was bad, but the guy that lost to
Crowley.
Sandy there, Crowley, I think the last poll they had, he was up double digits. Mm-hmm. And the poll was 2 days before the election. So what happened in those 2 days? Was the polling that off? Or was there a real blitz, a real groundswell of socialist grassroots support from, and when I mean socialist grassroots support, I mean support from outside of her district coming in and helping her. How did this happen? Those are questions that need to be answered, and a lot of it may be, like you said, it's just the incumbent being lazy, and this was just kind of a freak thing, or there may be more to it.
Well, of how many people are covered by a congressional district? Like 500,000 at this point?
Probably, yeah.
More than that? Well, in this primary, there was a total of 27,658 votes. And she got 15,897 of them.
And what district was that? Was it
It's the Bronx. I think it's the Bronx, part of Queens. Yeah, Queens and Bronx are the 2 counties it covers.
27,000 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Eric Cantor.
Yeah.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we need to do. Okay, we need to get Scam Pack going.
Okay.
I only, in the grand scheme of things, I just look at this and think to myself, how can I take advantage of the situation?
Wow.
So we need to get Scam Pack together, get it going, and we will raise money to draft people to run in certain congressional districts.
Well, that's why I dug into this article about these. It's 4 women that are socialists that are going to my state house. And I was like, 3 of them are unopposed. And I looked at it real quick to see if any of them were in my district. Because I would just run a damn write-in campaign for myself at this point to beat them.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. I mean, there are enough people here that are anti all that bullshit that would vote for anybody but a socialist. But you're talking about Philadelphia and Pittsburgh.
Oh, see, you're still talking about legit stuff. I'm talking about Scam Pack.
I know.
We should draft Kennedy to run against Sandy in a write-in campaign.
There you go. I don't think Kennedy lives in the Bronx.
No, you don't think so?
No.
Oh, don't get into the details here. We're running Scam Pack. Now we're going to worry about the legitimacy of our draft campaign.
That's true. That's true.
It's going to be the draft Kennedy campaign, and Fingers and Tracy need a beach house.
Yes. We want a Hampton spread right next to our good friend Sandy.
Yeah.
We'll soon be living out there.
Wow.
Yeah. I am interested to see what goes on with her when she gets to D.C. and see if the Democrats embrace her with open arms.
I'm going to have to.
I don't know.
And photo ops.
I mean, the head of the DNC is saying that, yeah, you know, she's the future of the party and the socialist crap is the future of the party. But you didn't hear that from the current leadership. So I say make her speaker or minority leader. Let's put her right at the front.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you're, I mean, Crowley, what was he, fifth in line? Fourth in line, and he had been in Congress for how long?
I think it's 10 terms. I want to say.
Wow. So you get some, you got Sandy waltz in. She's carried in by the media, much like Oprah would be carried into an event. What are those things that they ride on?
They're called a litter.
A litter. Okay. Carried in on a litter into Washington D.C. And she's, what would be really cool? Can you give me a position in leadership? Doesn't even know where the bathrooms are yet.
Yeah, I think I'm going to run for speaker. Honestly, I think she could get away with it, and the media would be right behind her. We need a fresh new face.
Yeah, and then you've got people that have been in Congress for 20, 30 years, and this girl waltzes in. And I said, girl, she's 28. I'm 46. Mm-hmm. I can call her a girl.
Yes.
Wow.
I think we should push it.
Scam Pack.
There you go. We could raise money to do that.
Draft Sandy to be Speaker of the House.
Yeah, Speaker Sandy. I mean, people will be confused because unless you read that, I think the page 6 article, you wouldn't know that she was called Sandy at work.
Hmm.
But, I mean, all these articles about her lying about her background and where she grew up and all this kind of stuff, no one cares.
No, she's not Vanilla Ice.
Nobody's mad at Bernie for his beach house.
Right.
Nobody gives a damn. And
people are still pissed off at Vanilla Ice for lying about his background. You kids under the age of 30, ask Jeeves Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, it's Rob Van Winkle.
Yes.
There you go.
He's from the streets, and then you find out later he grew up in the suburbs.
Of course he did.
That was the end of his career.
Yeah, that was what caused the end of his career. Otherwise, multi-platinum.
Rapping today.
Yeah.
So, do we have confirmation? Did she grow up in the burbs? Was she
That seems to be that her family at some point moved to the burbs. And then she went to a ritzy, like a wealthy public school. Mm. But in a wealthy area where the median income was something like 80 or 90.
So if she had kids, she'd be a soccer mom socialist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter at all.
No. Trump can't handle a girl from the Bronx.
No, I saw her say that. You're like, really? You think Trump's afraid of you? They're so precious with this.
Yeah.
Trump's afraid of all these people. He's afraid of Maxine Waters. He's afraid of Elizabeth Warren. He's terrified of Hillary Clinton. Yeah, go back and watch the second debate and tell me he's afraid of anybody. You'd be in jail. That's the best.
Even if you are insecure,
mm-hmm.
Boy, $1 billion in the bank.
Yeah.
You could sure prop that up.
And the presidency.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Against all odds, he won.
Yeah.
2% chance. No. I think I'll win this. And then I think I definitely will be intimidated by some 28-year-old first-timer from the Bronx.
Well, hey, she's going to be Speaker of the House.
I bet you he invites her over immediately.
And here's the funny thing is, and again, this is where the left has totally and completely lost an opportunity. He could have been a Bill Clinton-esque president.
Oh, certainly.
They left of center president of the United States if Democrats would have, after the election was over, they would have dropped the butthurt in a hurry and tried to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he would be much more at ease with a Chuck Schumer than talking to Mitch McConnell.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, New York Democrat, they blew a golden opportunity. So here you are, fast forward 2 years later, you have Sandy being carried in a litter into Washington, D.C. You're right. I could see him inviting her to the White House. And the smart thing to do would be to graciously accept the invitation.
And I would imagine she will.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's a really dumb move to deny a meeting with the President of the United States.
It's been done.
I know that it has. I think it's a stupid move, and I think that she's smarter than that. To be like, this is an opportunity for me to give him a piece of my mind, to tell him all about my Green New Deal. He's talked about doing a giant infrastructure project, so there you go.
The things that have come out of his face in the last 2 years
that
lefties should absolutely jump up and down about. He's praised universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
He's talked about infrastructure spending. I mean, there's stuff there that, Chuck Schumer should be able to go to the White House and say, okay, let's make a deal. What can we do? And then we could peel off enough Republicans.
I think maybe we'll see that happen if they don't get the blue wave that they're anticipating this November.
At some point, you're going to have to try to deal with literally Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not going to get anything like that out of the House.
No, but you know what? If they got Trump to agree to it, he would just bully them into doing it.
Yeah. And then, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski would go for it in the Senate. And there you go.
Susan Collins drives me insane. I don't know how you can be an adult and have a lisp.
Who?
Susan Collins.
Yeah.
They keep interviewing her, and she can't make up her mind about what she's going to do with the Supreme Court nomination. She sounds like Cindy Brady. Like, it's embarrassing. How does she win a Senate seat?
Did you just pull an itty bitty baby talk? It's a wonder you can walk.
That's what she sounds like. It's stunning to me. I mean, you hear stories about people running for office and just getting trounced, and then you see people like her.
Yeah.
And you have to think, how in the world does this happen?
So he nominates a woman, right? It's got to happen.
I think so.
And then that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun to watch Democrats tear down this woman nominated for the Supreme Court. All the rules will be thrown away, and the media will cheer.
Of course.
And then he needs to go out. Meaning Donald Trump, needs to go to his little pep rallies that he has and point out the hypocrisy of it all.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to talk about how great she is.
Yeah.
And it looks like, what's her name? Amy Coney Barrett. And I did read she has 7 children fingers.
Oh, right there. That should disqualify her.
1 with special needs. And 2 that she adopted from Haiti.
Oh, I mean, oh my gosh.
What a monster.
Oh.
Oh, and it just makes me think, and this is my sick, cynical mind. Are they refugees from the hurricane down there, or the earthquake? Driven out, they thought the Clinton Foundation was coming to save them. Yeah, how many how many Haitian kids did the Clintons adopt? I can't remember.
Oh my gosh. It'll be fun to watch them paint her into a monster.
Oh, Oh, they're already trying. They're saying she's in some kind of weird religious cult. She's a Catholic, but she belongs to this group called the People of Praise.
Oh, my goodness. That sounds terrible.
Yes, it's horrifying. And I don't know. Oh, yeah, I did.
If only she were a part of the People's Socialist Revolution.
Yeah.
Then she'd get 1,000 interview requests.
Well, it's just so funny, you know, like neither one of us, we were both raised Christian, but we don't spend a lot of time in church, but
not in our wheelhouse.
No, we're quite familiar with the separation of church and state idea, and I think there's some biblical texts that point to that idea as well. It's not about having a theocracy, Christianity. It's not like go take over the government. Go take over the laws. Render unto Caesar's that which is Caesar's. And render unto God that which is whatever, however that goes. But it's two different things. And imagine that people are able to separate it. And it gets me to this other point that drives me absolutely nuts, the way they talk about Roe v. Wade. And they say it could be overturned, right? This is always the language around it. And I've asked my lefty friends what that looks like. How does that look? Do you think that the Supreme Court just gavels in and they say, we no longer agree with this decision. It is therefore overturned. And I kid you not, that's what they think happens. Some variation of that. Not that another case has to rise through all the courts and come before the Supreme Court that could undo it. They don't understand.
But that's because the judiciary has been so blurred, and I'm sure that there are people out there that think that the Supreme Court. I'm not going to try to say judiciary again, but they write legislation at the Supreme Court.
Right, but
I'm sure
they
people
also
think that
they're under this misconception that all of a sudden, there's a new judge, now the balance is shifted, and they've just decreed that Roe v. Wade is null and void.
Right.
I'm serious.
Like they have votes at the beginning of the term.
Yeah. Oh, can we revisit that one?
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
All in favor? All opposed?
Yeah. Nope. It's done. It's gone. But yeah, Vox had this interesting article, which lends me to wonder why the hell the hysteria then. So it's titled, In Many States, the End of Roe v. Wade is Already Here. Did you know this, Fingers?
I have read similar pieces.
It's already done in a bunch of states. Yeah. So what's the national freakout? And they even admit in this, basically, if Roe v. Wade is undone, states will decide on their own laws. Oh, my God. And
well, and the thing, too, they make a huge leap. Because what state did they reference in that piece at Vox where it's after 15 weeks?
Mississippi.
They make the leap from, a state like Mississippi has legislation restricting abortion rights after 15 weeks. They make a leap from that to, if it's overturned, the abortion pill will be illegal tomorrow. Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and they do point out, like, Mississippi only has one remaining abortion clinic.
I would sure love to know how many abortion clinics Mississippi had 20 years ago. I mean, did they go from 3 to 1?
Right. But they make it sound so horrifying.
Yeah.
And it's like they seem to be getting along okay. Like, I don't see, and maybe this will be the next big protest. Who knows? Because this whole kids in cages thing is kind of failing epically. Ever since Trump was just like, yep, we're going to put an end to that. Thank you.
Well, because they've overplayed their hands, which is, of course, not a headline I read in any newspaper. But you make the leap from, you know what? Maybe it's bad that the government is separating families at the border to, we should eliminate ICE.
Yeah.
It should be gone tomorrow. Oh, okay, what's going to take its place? Well, we haven't gotten there yet, and truthfully, we don't want anything to take its place. But ICE should be gone tomorrow.
Right.
Oh, really?
But what about all the human trafficking that they've busted up?
Don't know anything about that. They just put children in cages. That's the only thing I know about. They put kids in cages. They should be eliminated tomorrow. Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's a lava hot take you have there. You saw Cynthia Nixon say it on The View, so you're going to run with that. I'm sure that won't lead to... Why don't you just sign up right now to be part of the Donald Trump 2020 election committee?
Exactly.
Because that's quite a leap.
Oh, man. No, we thought they had reached peak freak out, but we're wrong.
Right.
And I don't know if there is such a thing anymore.
How can you tell?
I don't know. I don't know how they keep doing it, though. And I honestly was wondering, Stormy Daniels was the end-all, be-all, right?
Right.
For how long? And her lawyer was on television like every 35 seconds. And then that just went away.
Now she's begging for strip club gigs.
Right. But they get behind this thing and like, this is going to be the thing. So we freak out about that. And then for some reason, they just all pivot. And I don't understand what the cue is. Maybe this is perhaps one of those dog whistles we all hear about. And they suddenly pivoted off of that onto, oh my God, the kids in the cages. And then they marched about that after Trump had come out and signed that executive order.
Well, because the next natural step from the kids in the cages, oh, they don't do that anymore? Oh, we just need to get rid of ICE. So let's march.
Yeah.
Get rid of ICE. And then all the people that watch that are kind of moderates and conservatives that were disheartened, upset, maybe even outraged by seeing these pictures of families or being separated, then you just completely lose them when you say, oh, you know what, we're going to eliminate ICE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I haven't seen anybody really push back on that, of course, because you've got friendly media that agrees and they can't think past just the immediacy. Oh, we just end that. So then what?
Then we'll have a Green New Deal, Tracy.
Oh,
that'll take
okay.
its place.
We can retrain all those ICE employees.
Yes, to make
I'm
solar
surprised she
panels.
hasn't mentioned that. Mm-hmm.
Just think. And then what they could do is you could take those same people who were enforcing border laws, and they'll be responsible for taking your car away from you, Tracy.
That makes sense.
And putting solar panels on the side of your house. And by the way, that would be totally cool to give the government that kind of power to take your car away from you and force you to put a solar panel on your home. But, we can't have, anyone enforcing border laws.
No.
Immigration laws should not be enforced, but we could have a force going around. And by the way, those same people will have a special arm of them to take your guns away from you when we repeal the Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. Well, when the liberals get a 5-4 majority and they just get together the first day and vote to eliminate the Second Amendment,
right?
Then we'll have new ICE come out and force you to put a solar panel on your home after they take their gun away from you, and that's totally cool. You can do that.
Yeah, I mean, and just to be fair about this, the right does talk about the possible infringement on the Second Amendment. I know that came up when Merrick Garland was put up, that the Second Amendment could be under assault. But you never say, like, oh, they're going to overturn the Second Amendment.
Right.
And I do think that language is used purposefully because they count on us having poor civics education, which is entirely true, and not understanding how the Supreme Court works.
That's all by accident, though, Tracy.
Of course.
They don't want, they try their best to teach civics in government schools.
Sure. It's not like they don't have us for, 18,000 hours? Couldn't have fit in a little bit like, this is how the Supreme Court works.
No, too busy. You got to teach in social studies. You need everyone to leave 7th grade knowing who Harvey Milk is,
yeah,
but not know anything about the Supreme Court or how Congress works.
No, couldn't possibly learn important things about the world around you and things that will affect you. No.
Well, because that also helps leaders spring up who then say stuff like, I have a phone and a pen.
Yes.
And have your side be totally cool that he has a phone and a pen.
Or this chick, oh, we're going to have a brand new Deal, just like World War II. What? You mean World War II when most of the men were gone, so women had to go work in factories and play baseball? I mean, that's pretty cool. I'd always wanted to play professional baseball.
Yeah.
So, yeah, draft everybody into your Green Army. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Listen, they're for all kinds of armies telling you to do all kinds of things as long as it has nothing to do with your uterus.
Right.
Then it's cool. You shouldn't be drinking Mountain Dew. You shouldn't have a straw in your drink. You shouldn't have a big screen TV. Some of the shit I'm telling you. Google California set to ban black cars. Some of the crazy ass crap. Beer pong.
Oh?
Yeah. Can't have beer pong in bars.
Why?
Well, it will lead to drinking and driving.
Isn't that what bars do?
Shh.
Well, I think I told this story, right? There was a push to privatize the liquor stores in Pennsylvania a couple of years ago because they're state-owned.
Mm-hmm.
And the Liquor Store Clerks Union, I don't know if that's the official name, but they are unionized. They started running commercials. There was like a little girl standing over a grave, and they talked about how it was her father's grave and he was killed by a drunk driver. And you're supposed to understand that if the state's not in control of the sale of liquor bottles, bottles of booze and wine, which is what you get at the state stores, then there would be more drunk driving accidents. I don't know how that logic works out. I don't know why the point of origin of sale determines whether or not one is going to drink and drive.
Wow.
But they ran that, and I looked it up. I can't remember how much they spent on it because it was a shitty ad to begin with. And then I'm like, is this really effective? But I don't know. The state still owns the damn liquor stores, and I got to tell you, they closed at 5:00 yesterday. And so I had to go to the supermarket, which now sells wine, but no booze. And I was limited in the number of bottles I'm allowed to buy at the grocery store, apparently.
What?
Yeah. Well, it was like, oh, my wine's on sale here. Because unlike the state stores that don't really do that, apparently the grocery store can undercut the state store. So I was like, oh, great. I'm going to restock my bar. So I had picked up 6 bottles. No, you can only buy 4 at a time.
Wow.
Excuse me? Like, I can go to the liquor store and come out, they'll give you a box to put all your bottles in. I think when I first moved in, I was like, oh, I want to stock my bar. I think I bought 15 bottles. Nobody batted an eye at the state store. But, if they didn't own it, then I would definitely be a drunk driver.
I'm still trying to get over the Liquor Commission in Pennsylvania's version of their Daisy ad.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find it online. It was so bad. So bad. And does anybody buy this garbage?
Yes. People buy this garbage. There's a law in Georgia that was recently passed about distracted driving.
Uh-huh.
And I forgive me, I don't have the story in front of me, so I don't remember the fines. But now they have devices set up that are radar detectors, but they can also detect cell phone activity.
Oh,
and
awesome.
and they eliminate it. It's not only against the law for you to text and drive in Georgia, but you also can't use music streaming apps like Spotify
in your car.
With your phone. So you can't Bluetooth connect your phone to the stereo and use a streaming app like that because I'm guessing it's because the whatever technology they have that can determine if there's cell phone activity probably can't differentiate between it being an app that should be legal versus an app that should be illegal. So they just made it all illegal, and it's for your own safety, Tracy. It has nothing to do with it being another money grab.
So they're just going to have basically like radar traps set up?
That's where it's going to head. You know damn well that's where it's going to head. I mean, just I've made the the example clear many times from Michigan, where they first passed the seatbelt law. They said, well, it'll be a secondary offense. We will never be able to pull you over just because you don't have your seatbelt on. And then 15 years later, you have click it or ticket, where you got cops on overpasses with binoculars looking into your car to see if you're wearing a seatbelt, and then they pull you over. Because once the initial legislation passes and people get used to it, then they say, oh, you know what? Not enough of you are wearing your seatbelt. We really need to make it to where we can pull you over if you're not wearing your seatbelt. So that's where this is all headed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had thought for a while that they might mandate that the cell phone carriers put something inside the phones, or not the carriers, the manufacturers, that don't allow you to use them if you're going over a certain speed.
I think people would revolt. I mean, because
I think they would too, but and also you're drying up that revenue source for cops.
Yeah.
If it was just impossible to use your phone while you were traveling, except for maybe audio, like, you should be able to make a phone call from your car. You're allowed to talk to other humans if they're in the car with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't talk to another person on my phone as I pass someone eating a bowl of cereal driving because they aren't eating the bowl of cereal off their phone. I seriously, how many times you pass a woman putting makeup on, or a parent with, turning around damn near with their whole torso facing the other way because they're either picking something up that their toddler dropped in the back seat. Oh, that's cool. That's fine. They aren't going to pull you over for that. But boy, if you're on your cell phone, and then because you have enough sheep out there, they'll be like, oh, the sheeple out there. Oh, you really shouldn't be on your phone while you're driving. Yeah, we get it. You shouldn't be on your phone while you're driving. So if you get in an accident and you hurt someone, then there should be consequences.
Yeah.
But if you didn't hurt anyone, and to expand it to things like Spotify, what the hell is it a cop's business if I'm listening to Spotify through my stereo? That's ridiculous.
None of their business.
I got to pull this up because it's really
pissing me off.
Yeah.
Well, and this is just the first of many states. Once this works out for one of them, they'll be like, oh, word, we can get more money out of these guys. We just sit a cop there with a little laser gun that'll tell them whether or not they're using. I would imagine it's just cellular data signal or something like that.
It's got to be, yeah.
Any way to get that money.
Here's the thing. Texting while driving is already illegal in Georgia, but the new law is hard to enforce. Then why pass it?
Yeah. And who didn't see that coming?
Yeah. The Hands-Free Georgia Act will make it illegal to hold your cell phone while driving except using one button to answer or end a call. How in the hell are you going to enforce that?
Yeah. You're not.
No. Maybe I'm a little confused about this legislation. But I'm almost positive I read where it will make it illegal to. Well, I mean, yeah. If you're using, when are you going to start Spotify? In your, I mean, that's what you could claim. I did it in my driveway.
Yeah.
That's when I launched it. I swear I saw that. I'm not making it up. It's like, it's all illegal. You can't use any of it.
Huh.
I really should have had this up.
Yeah, probably. We just have to take your word for it.
I'm telling you. Oh, well. Damn it. Trust me on this. That's where it's all headed. But I think we can agree that it's a money grab. It's another way for police to be able to write you a ticket and collect revenue. And one thing I think you and I both agree on is the one thing America needs, it's more citizen-police interaction.
Oh, absolutely.
On the roadways.
That's definitely the way to go forward. Just everywhere.
Yeah.
Police and civilians need to be interacting. if I don't have an interaction with a police officer at least once a day, I'm very disappointed.
You get the shakes?
Yeah. They need to know that I'm protected.
Yeah.
For myself.
Well, we're an hour in, Tracy.
Well, damn.
Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
I kind of wanted to talk about this truck driver shortage thing, just briefly.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it's affecting you at work at all. If you guys have things that get shipped in to you that you need.
I'm assuming that we pay whoever we ship stuff to a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that shipping probably hasn't been a big issue for us, but no, if you're a small time manufacturer or you're in retail and you need things shipped from warehouse to retail store, I have to believe this is really going to start affecting costs.
Oh yeah, it is, and we're seeing it a lot. We'll have, shipments booked, they don't show up.
Wow, whole shipments not even show up?
Yeah, they're supposed to come do a pickup for an entire truck full of things, and they just don't show. So and it's not like, oh, we just didn't feel like it. It's they got something else.
Yeah.
It was paying them more. So right now, this is a Washington Post story that's actually centered around this idea that a lot of older people are working. And there's a truck driver shortage. Right now, there's 63,000 open positions to drive trucks.
Really?
And this story interests me because it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago that there was a huge freak out on the left in particular about self-driving cars and how it was just going to decimate the trucking industry.
Yeah.
Just decimate it. And that hasn't come to pass. And it would be a godsend right now. You could get 63,000 trucks out on the road delivering things, because this is going to drive up prices all over the place.
Right.
So they say delivery delays are common, and businesses such as Amazon, General Mills, and Tyson are raising prices as they pass higher transportation costs along to consumers. So this is just like what we were talking about last week. When you have unemployment this low, then wages have to go up, right, to attract people. And you're going to automate too. But in this case, when there's more demand than there is supply, that's also going to drive prices up. So if Amazon is getting pinched, I would imagine it's possible that you guys are too.
Yeah, everyone's getting pinched. It's crazy too, because you would see all the time, help wanted, drivers needed, will pay such and such a mile, and you never would know based on that description of the pay just how much a truck driver can make. Right. And of course, there are also laws regarding, you have to log your miles and everything, so you're not on the road too much. Mm-hmm. Have a driver that's exhausted. I mean, that's one of the things that happened with Tracy Morgan, I believe. Yes. Was the driver had been driving way too much and fell asleep at the wheel and plowed into Tracy Morgan's limo bus. So there are regulations out there. If they're paying you by the mile, there's only so many miles you could drive. But you never were, by looking at the sign, you could never tell how much a driver could potentially make. But starting at $50,000 a year.
Well, this article is saying higher than that. So it says, as the nation faces historically low levels of unemployment, trucking companies are doing what economists have said firms need to do to attract and retain workers. They're hiking pay significantly, offering bonuses, and even recruiting people they previously wouldn't have considered. And so they're saying right now, one of the TDDS, Technical Institute, which is an independent trucker school in Ohio, they say there might be 100,000 open trucking positions. And they're offering to pay people between $60 and $70 to start with full benefits and a $4,000 signing bonus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now I know what I'm going to do when I retire.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
Yeah.
By the way, go back briefly to the Georgia law, USA Today piece. It's now illegal to hold your phone while driving in the state of Georgia, part of the sweeping hands-free law that went into effect Sunday. This was back in June, I believe. July. The law went into effect July 1st. Reading from a phone or using it to record video is banned too, according to the governor's office. And that's including at stoplights. Those caught breaking the rules, even tapping play on a Spotify playlist while not parked, face a $50 fine, which doubles upon their second offense. The law signed by Governor Nathan Deal in May aims to curtail driving fatalities in the state. And then they're out there saying nobody's trying to keep you from listening to your music.
Right.
But let's see. Supposedly it's going to be a whole thing with they're going to go after everyone now. The makeup people.
Yep.
The people eating a burger.
People reading a newspaper.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. And if you push back when stories like this are on Facebook, and it's really disheartening to read the comments on the story. Oh, it's about time. Oh, people are distracted on their cell phones. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. It's too many people.
They all do it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, we get it. There are too many people out there that are using their cell phones while driving. It's one of the reasons why I've got a motorcycle that I've needed to have repaired for a few years now, and there's been no hurry to get that fixed because they're putting roundabouts like crazy in central Indiana, and people just on their cell phones not paying any attention, and it's scary enough in a car, let alone on a motorcycle. But you know what? I would rather have there not be a law that cops can just pull people over for we think you're on your phone.
Yeah.
We have drone footage. There's a drone a mile away peering into your car, seeing that you're on your cell phone. I would rather there not be a law and have to deal with that added danger, and then the people that potentially hit me, I should say, they have to deal with the consequences of driving distracted versus this police state that people seem to want, where it's just totally cool that we're going to have cops peering into your car to look to see if you have your seatbelt on, looking to see if you have your phone in your hand. Wow.
I think they should just meet us at our cars every morning, walk us out, see what we've got on us, make sure we pick our playlists, get that all settled before we start our engines. And what the hell is the problem with checking stuff when you're sitting at a light?
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. I did see video footage. They had someone at a light at an intersection, and then they had cops on bikes riding in between cars. And so, you're on your phone. You go over there and see that police officer. You're a distracted driver.
Unbelievable. You're not driving.
Yeah.
So what if you're stuck in a traffic jam for like hours on a highway? Nope. You think they'll send the bicycle squad out to ride between every car and just ticket?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And they're paying the cops overtime on a bike, and he's out there on a sunny day.
Unbelievable.
Well, okay, and I knew I saw this piece somewhere. Radar gun that can tell if drivers are texting is in the works. And then underneath, this is a technology that could save lives.
Of course.
I'm not going to get into it, but a Virginia-based company is developing a new radar gun that not only detects speeding, but texting and driving as well. So that's in our future. We're going to have a gun that's going to be able to tell if you're you're texting and driving. And what the hell? I mean, my car was being worked on a few months ago, and I had a rental, and it was a new Chevy Silverado with CarPlay. The car was doing all the work for me. I didn't have to touch anything.
Yeah.
The car said, "Oh, you have a new text message from Tracy. Would you like me to read it?" Yes. Reads a text message. Would you like to respond? Yes. What would you like to say? I'd like to say this. Are you ready to send it? Yes. Sent. The cell phone is sending that text message. It's not my stereo. So you're going to write me a ticket for that?
Yep. That'll be $50, please.
What a world. All right, you got anything else?
Nah, I think we should shut up.
You can find the Enough Already podcast on SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, YouTube, and BitChute.
Yes.
I got it right.
You did. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now if I can only get Sandy's name right.
I know.
Really
you can
be
practice. when you're in Biloxi.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. I didn't try to roll the R. Cortez. That's awful.
Ugh. Please stop. It just sounds like you're gargling.
Does that sound sexy?
No.
Anyway, you can find us there. Final thoughts, Tracy?
Good luck in Biloxi.
Thank you. I'm going to need it. So we'll be back. Oh, and by the way, I pushed back the Great Indoors podcast. It will be released on Monday as well for Tracy, because I know she won't listen to it. But for those of you who like casino gaming and other stuff revolved around casino gaming, meaning basically drinking and eating.
Yeah, sitting on a stool and
Yeah.
pumping. Do you put quarters in? I don't.
No. What is it, 1978?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You've walked by. You've been at the bar at the Cosmopolitan. They have machines there. You see anybody putting quarters in?
I don't know. You can put bills in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then when you are done, if you have any money left in the machine, you push a button and it spits out a ticket with a barcode on it.
Window.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have played the ones at the bar just to get free drinks.
See, there you go. See, you're an old pro.
Yeah.
But anyway, check out Facebook.com/Great Indoors Radio for updates on that. And, by the way, you should really check out our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Enough Already.
Please.
And Tracy's on Twitter at Tracy L. Connors. I'm on Twitter at FingersMalloy. So, until next week, she's Tracy, I'm Fingers. We'll be back then with an all-new Enough Already.